Hi, and welcome to this video on how to do some more advanced search of files in your file system. And in this case, we're using on Commander Pro that you can download for Windows, macOS, and Linux at this URL. So I've generated the tutorial that creates me some files and directories so I can go there and go to search for files. So let's go a bit through the directory. And first we're gonna search by file name and also by content inside the file name. So in this case I'm gonna search for file that contains this text 22.dv and that inside the file that contains the word just text. So if I go there and I search for this, you see I have two files. So this file in this case because it contains just text, and this one that also contains just text. Now you can also, instead of searching for text, you can search for a regular expression. So in this case I'm searching again for the same name, and that contains, in this case, tilde indicates that the next afterward it's going to be a regular expression. So \d is like a digit and plus is one or more. So in this case I'm searching for a file that contains a number and that contains also this in the name. So if I go there, just escape, and now enter the text. Now you see I have also two files, this one that indeed contains some numbers and this other one that indeed contains also a number. Now this case let's do another search, and this case that contains search and is a directory. So if I go there and do this, you'll see it's only gonna find some directory. If I was only going without directory, you see I have some files. If I want to search only for files, I said and is file, and then it finds only the files and not the directories. Now you can also search for inside subdirectories. So the way you do it is doing / and then whatever you're searching for. So in this case, you see I'm searching for this word in the file name, and I found two files. So one in this current directory, but also a one in a subdirectory. If I put another star in front of it, it's also going to search for hidden files. So you see now, instead of just two files, it's found two more files that are more defined as hidden files. If I look at here from hidden file, you see that when it ends with tilde, it's considered as hidden file. So by default, it's not searched for. Now what you can also do is search with inside subfolders, including hidden files and including compressed files. So if I go there, you see that now it has also found a third another file, and in this case it's in the 22 compressed.lst file. So now it's not only searching inside subfolders, but also when it finds a compressed file, it's going to search inside this compressed file to find if there's also some file with this name. So that's this case. Now you can also right click, for example, on these files and then go select in directory. So now I know the file that I want, I found it. So instead of having to go manually from there to this file, I can go there. I can go to select in directory, and now I'm already in the compressed files, and this file is already selected. So now let's go back to the tutorial directory and let's search for this. And here what it means basically is gonna search for this in the name and is empty, and empty, that would mean for in terms of files, that would mean file with 0 bytes with no content, and when it finds a directory, it would be an empty directory. So that means a directory without any files or any subdirectory. So attack the next search. Let's search in this case for this in the file name and with a // basically it means that that in the path it contains sub. So let's go there and if I search for this name and slash sub slash, you'll see that it's also find the slash sub slash in the path of the file name. So this way you can also search for not only for the file name but also in like what is in the path of the file. Now with searching you can also use it to compare directories. So in this case I have some directories, some prepares that are pretty similar but not totally. So let me show them to you. Here we have like two subdirectories. You see the file like here, so 1 2 3 4 5, and here it's a 1 2 3 4 6 in this case, but also some files here are bigger, or some files in this case some files don't have the same date last modified, and so on. So let's go from there and let's search for it. So in this case it's going to compare this directory with whatever is defined, so you need to have two table directory next to each other. So the way you can do it, you can either add a table directory on the right if you don't have one, or if you want to create also a new one, you also have like add tabs from preset, so it's gonna add a new tab, and you can say okay, I want two table directory next to each other. So in this case it's dual tables, and it will create a new tab from this. Okay, but here we already have it, so let's go through this. So we already shown all the files in both panels. So now in the first panel, let's search for all files, including in subdirectories, and that have the same name. So let's go from there, and now you'll see I have 1 2 3 4, and now the file 5 is not listed because it doesn't have the same matching files in the destination directory. Now if I do the same thing, but instead of same name I'm doing same file, you'll see I'm gonna have a smaller list. This means that the files that have a different last modified, or the files that have also a different size, won't be listed over there. So we saw that file 2 had a different last modified, and I think this one was a bit bigger than the other one, so that's why it's not listed. Now what you can also do, what's going to be useful when you're doing some backup, is what you want to see is what are the more recent files. So here, if I go there, you'll see it's going to look at all the files, and then they're going to only list the files that exist in the destination and that are more recent. In this case, you have one file that is more recent than the destination part. And what you can also do is let's go there in the second panel, and let's search for all the files that don't have the same name or are more recent. So also useful in terms when you're doing some backups, for example. So here it's going to list the new files and also the more recent files. So this way you can just copy them to your backup directory. Now, so let's see from, you can also search with the clipboard. So let's go back in this case to the tutorial directory. Let's copy the text, this text in the clipboard, and now I'm gonna search for all files and clipboard. And you see now it's using the clipboard. It's replaced, basically it's what it does, it's replace the clipboard with whatever is in your clipboard. So here you have this, and it's also listening to the clipboard. So if I, for example, now do copy of this text in the clipboard, you'll see that the search will be adapted to now the new content of the clipboard. Now if you want to know more, so that's the first view. If you want to know more, you can go to the text field and use Ctrl-H. It will show you a help part and explain you all the things that you can do, like searching, you see, in the past for regular expressions and negate and most of the things that I've explained, but there's more. There's a lot of way to find Git files, for example, and so on. Well, thank you for watching. If you have any questions or comments, yeah, just put it in the comments below this video. And don't forget to put a thumb ups and to share this video if you like it. And see you at the next video. Bye.